Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today we are playing a game from a dev that we've never run into, and that's also because it seems to be the first game from these developers. I mean, technically, the Mutant Vision seems to be a group of developers, yes, but I mean, from the screenshots, the game looks fantastic. The idea seems to be there, so we'll dive into 4 Candles for the Dead. But just before we dive in, let's, like always, read what the dev has to say about the game. 4 Candles for the Dead is a love letter to the sexy, violent anime of the 80s. A blend of Neo-Giallo, hard-boiled detective stories, and waifus, introducing freelance detective Lydia Knight in her first short story. Alright. To be fair, I have not seen anyone play this on YouTube. Yes, I checked. And nobody rated the game on itch as well, which is surprising. How did you not notice this? It was also part of NaNoRenO 25. I would assume some people played this because this looks good. This looks good. Let us dive into the story for the most important part. Okay. The view of Los Angeles from Alice Langley's floor-to-ceiling window was almost pretty. Almost, because Los Angeles. Yeah. Almost! The bluish silhouette of the city stood against an orange creamsicle sky, pretty as a picture. But down deep in the dark blue, you'll find the bugs, people scrambling over others, killers, professional predators, those possessed by desire to survive or the pursuit of pleasure. Sometimes both, yeah. I focused on the reflection of the room behind me, ignoring the 3 other guests and focusing on the massive rectangle draped in a black cloth hanging on the back wall. Oi. That must be the unveiling Langley mentioned in the letter hiring me to take part in tonight's game. What? What do you mean? On either side of the object hung Alice Langley's paintings. Smaller rectangles exploring the female form that spanned the length of the room. Centered in front of the rectangle was the dining table and postmodern nightmare. A solid sheet of glass topped by empty bone china plates rested on a zigzag of black bars. Her house stank of money and privilege. Langley was the heiress to one of the most prestigious art schools in the world. Now a for-profit money pit. But that's how it goes in LA. The town lures dreamers, then destroys them. Langley and her school were just another flavor. Okay. I pulled a cigarette from my coat pocket. No, don't do that. But then light it. Good. The other guests mill about. These people couldn't stand still if their trust funds depended on it. Hello. How much longer do we have to wait? The actress draped herself across one of the white modernist chairs. Her sequin dress caught the dying light. Some of us have actual commitments tonight. You're an actress. Come on. Come on. A lie. Her entire door was open, probably the day before too. Obviously. I know the art world, but I know Los Angeles and there ain't no one bigger than Langley. Her students built the entertainment industry. She handpicked her best and gave them a golden ticket to the Dream Factory. Give someone their big break and they owe you a massive debt. In Hollywood, a debt like that moves mountains. I feel like in Hollywood you would not want to have a debt at all. To anyone. Given how shady that like, well, I guess entertainment industries. And those who Langley didn't raise? Every good businessman knows you don't freak with your supplier. I rolled the unlit cigarette between my fingers and studied the scene before me. What the heck is that? She likes to make people wait. A soft flex of power.
She likes people to make people wait. A soft flex of power. No matter who you are, your time means nothing to her.
The young girl sat into her small compact, running her tongue over her teeth. She snapped the compact note close.
So this is excessive, even with her.
Okay, Langley's protégé paced in front of the covered rectangle. Sorry.
Does anyone have anything for allergies?
She pulled the tissue from her purse and dabbed her nose.
This dust! Achoo! Bless you.
The room looked surprised to see me.
Oh, you're that reporter. Miss Langley, what's your channel?
We're a reporter. I thought we were supposed to be a detective. The actress adjusted herself and sat up straight.
Lydia Knight. The one who wrote the nasty piece about the school scholarship program. Hey, every word was true. I don't doubt it. That woman is a capital A abuser.
I knew it. The protegee's face tightened. It wasn't used to frowning.
That's my mother you're talking about!
She was a recent development in Langley's life. Big news a few months ago. Langley cried extortion, something to do with the young girl's gambling debts, but the girl slapped Langley with proof of the relation from a mail-in DNA test. Wait, what? Wait, Langley is a guy? Anyway, the two settled out of court. Wait.
Your mother, who filed a restraining order against you, that mother?
Wait, how are you a What? If she's a mother, how come you... And a daughter, and you needed a... I'm so confused right now. The actor sat and flashed a Colgate smile. The other clenched the leather strap of her designer purse. Sure.
Excuse me, I'm renting my jewelry!
You can rent jewelry? What? The actor stiffened. Her fingers traced the diamond necklace at her throat. I mean, you say at least you're not renting you jewelry, but come on. Come on. I mean, you are the worst one. You literally don't have any money yourself, so, like, shut up.
How many casinos are you banned from now? You don't want to talk! Aren't you blacklisted? Must burn, knowing you'll never walk in this town again!
The actress rose from her chair. The heat in her face brightened her red blush.
You have no idea.
Oh. The dining room door swung open. Whoa. Whoa. The maid stepped in. Hello. She carried a silver tray with flutes of champagne. Her movements were sharp, precise, and fluid. Her outfit was an elegant, high and tight French-made uniform that showed more than it covered, but that was Langley's taste. I think it covered quite a lot for. It's not really showing anything if you think about it. What, just legs really? Come on. The air between Langley's daughter and the actress cooled. Langley's protégé stopped pacing in front of the black rectangle and watched the maid set the tray on the table.
Everyone, please be seated.
See, I mean, it's just the legs and it's literally, you know, normal short sleeve. Come on! This is a really nice made uniform. Come on. Langley, whoever you are, good taste in uniforms at least. And, to be fair, in mates. 'Cause she's pretty damn attractive.
Miss Knight, would you care to join us at the table? I prefer the view from here.
The maid frowned.
How dare you? Miss Langley insisted all guests be seated.
I looked around the room, shrugged.
She ain't here.
The maid held her frown.
Fine, stand.
She cleared her throat, and the others moved to their seats like dogs obeying their master's command. The maid side-eyed me and smiled.
Where is Miss Langley?
The actors grabbed a flute of champagne.
I have dinner at Chateau Marmont at 9. Sure you do.
The protégée twisted napkin on her lap.
Miss Langley won't be joining us tonight.
I lit my cigarette. The first drag burned sweet. Why is that? The room fell silent. I blew smoke toward the ceiling. The maid's posture stiffened.
Miss Knight, Miss Langley wanted... You know, I know. They'll know soon enough. So unveil the damn thing and let's get the game started.
Her lips pressed into a thin line, but she nodded and moved to the draped canvas.
Ladies, this piece is Miss Langley's final statement.
She pulled the black cloth away. There was Alice Langley, rendered in vibrant, expressionistic color. She's ugly as heck, sprawled across her studio floor, mouth open in a scream. A knife was buried in her back, and blood pooled beneath her in violent crimson strokes. Her eyes, painted with an unnatural purple intensity, glared down at her seated guests. The colors and style were unlike anything else hanging in the house. It wasn't just art, it was a crime scene! The actress gasped, her knuckles whitened as she clutched the champagne glass tighter. The protégée glanced at the maid, who eyed the painting critically. The protégée noticed me watching, and her eyes darted to her lap. Goosebumps danced along my arms. Heat rushed to my face, and I licked my lips in excitement. There is something wrong with you, I think.
The game is afoot.
The author let out a short, harsh laugh.
Is this some kind of joke?
Her eyes glowed over the guest, then latched onto the maid.
Where is Mom?
You are not similar to her at all, by the way. You are also ugly, but... It sounded more like a demand than a question. No one answered. I took another drag of my cigarette and stalked towards the table. I mean, the actress is pretty attractive, to be fair. Lydia is alright as well. The maid is the best for... Anyway. Lydia Knight.
Langley is dead. And one of you killed her.
The protegee's face went white. A small squeak jumped from her throat before biting down her bottom lip.
It's absurd!
Her voice lacked conviction.
This is tasteless even for her. This can't be real. Miss Langley was found dead roughly 48 hours ago.
Okay.
Her body is at the morgue.
The maid's face remained impassive, professional. She's kinda suspicious. Langley knew she was going to die, and she knew who was going to kill her. That's why I'm here. I put my cigarette out on the table. Electricity danced through my nervous system and a small smile crept to my lips. She got me to find her murderer. What? The actress leaned back in her chair and laughed. Not the practiced polite laugh of Hollywood starlet, a loud throaty laugh, the kind reserved for closed doors and close friends. That means she's not the killer, I think. She raised her champagne glass high.
Well then, to dear Miss Langley, a woman of remarkable talent and absolutely no scruples.
She stood and raised her glass higher.
To the woman who ruined my career. To the biatch who forced me to pose without clothes.
Well, I understand why you would celebrate this then. She gestures to the paintings hanging on the walls. Oh, that's yours.
painted me without clothes.
Her voice drifted off, lost in a moment.
To Langley. Make her soul be dressed appropriately for the heat.
Yeah. She downed the champagne, punctuating the toast with a dramatic and satisfied
Ah.
Her face showed a fleeting, odd look. Oh shit, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I would not drink that myself, but yeah. Then the glass slipped from her fingers, shattering against the polished floor. Her body stiffened and her eyes bulged. She clutched her throat, gasping for air, and stumbled backwards, knocking over her chair before collapsing onto the ground with a painful foot. So it must be the maid then, unless there is more people working in the kitchen or whatever. But then again, I mean, if it's some champagne, I imagine it wouldn't be anyone else putting it. It's not like you need a chef for this. Her back arched, her hands moved from her neck to her chest as a horrible gargle escaped her lips. Pink foam bubbled up from her throat, overflowing her mouth with a pulpy liquid that spilled onto the floor, pooling in her hair. The actress's eyes locked with mine for one desperate second before a final shudder ran through her and she was still. The room fell silent. By the way, can I just say this music is absolutely fantastic? It really is a good one. I think someone else made the music for the game, right? Or am I mistaking this with another game? I think yeah, I'm mistaking it. You didn't write anything about who made the music. If it's also by Mutant Vision, then fantastic job. Anyway, I knelt beside the actress and placed 2 fingers against her neck. I mean, I would say it's obvious that she's out cold. No pulse. I grabbed what remained of the dead actress's glass and brought it to my nose and inhaled. A faint sickly sweet fragrance struck my sinuses.
Jesus.
No, I'm sure it's not Jesus. I blinked away the burn.
What is it? Sestrum Nocturnum, Night Blooming Jasmine. I recognized the spell when I sat down at the table. Langley knew them the garden. She loved those flowers.
Why would you grow flowers that can end your life? What?
They are poisonous?
The protégé nodded. Why would she...
Especially the berries.
Oh, wait, so this might be a wine... champagne that is literally made by them. Once again proving that America can't do good alcohol. Haha, it even kills you easily. Anyway, I had to, okay? As a European, I have to attack that part. Anyway, especially the berries, you say.
And you didn't bother to mention this one? Case solved!
No, it's not solved. Why would you say that? She threw her arms into the air.
We found the murderer!
You're so dumb.
No, that's not true. I didn't murder anyone.
The protégé turned to me, pleading.
I was so used to the smell I didn't think.
Her voice trailed off. Tears formed the corners of her eyes and she rubbed them with the back of her hand, smearing her mascara. I set the glass down.
Who else knew about these flowers?
I mean, the maid?
Everyone. Miss Langley was quite proud of her garden. She gave tours to all of her guests. Tours of poisonous plants. How hospitable.
The other sneezed again.
This wasn't part of Langley's little game, was it?
So the daughter also knew then, for sure.
No, Miss Knight. I'm as shocked as everyone else. I'm sure.
I crossed her in 3 quick strides. 1, 2, 3!
Langley's dead now. A guest in Spaxer drops dead after drinking champagne that you served. I did it!
Her voice trembled. We locked eyes. Her lips quivered. She went to speak, but a cry snapped us back in the room. It was the protégé.
They're locked. Why they're locked?
She was at the double doors, pulling out on the handles. I turned back to the maid.
Well?
The maid straightened her uniform.
Miss Langley instructed the doors be locked during the gathering, for privacy. Who has the key? They're electronic.
Oh my god. Why would you do that? Terrible news. I would never have electronic doors in my place, that's for sure. Sorry, but that's asking for trouble.
Set on a timer. Only Miss Langley knew the password.
Okay. The other dabbed her nose.
So we're trapping here with a murderer? Marvelous! How long until the door open? Down.
I checked my watch. 9 hours until sunrise. Great. Adrenaline surged through my veins. 2 murderers. Actually, you don't know if it's 2. It might be 1. If any... I'm stupid, by the way. I read murderers. No, 2 murders. Murders. Murderer will be 1, I think. For who knows? Maybe they are all in cahoots. Electrum, multiple suspects. The danger, the mystery, the high stakes. It was intoxicating. Our girl has a little screw loose as well, by the way. I blew a perfect smoke ring toward the ceiling and the shiver of excitement ran the length of my spine and nestled into a little pocket of warmth. I bit my lip. This was my element. This was where I belonged. The daughter sneezed again. Does she have allergy or something? Christ, I need something for these allergies. This dust is killing me. Is there really dust there? It's kinda hard to believe, to be honest. Especially considering if we have a massive gathering and they have mates. I would assume at least the room we are in would not have any dust at all. I think she's lying.
There is some allergy medication in the bathroom, miss. Take me there!
The prostitute jumped to her feet.
I'll come too. I need to... No! Not when you were near me!
The protege flinched at the harsh reply. I'll show you the way. That's probably what the maid said. The maid moved toward the hall. The daughter followed behind. She stopped in the doorway and glanced back at us. She's so suspicious. She's so sus.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, you'll know who did it!
I mean, what if the maid is not back in 5 minutes? She turned and disappeared down the corridor. The protege collapsed back into her chair.
I didn't kill anyone, please believe me!
I studied her face. The fear seemed genuine, but fear and guilt often appeared the same. Yeah, I mean, it might not be... I mean, god damn it. I would assume fear can appear in both situations, right? If you did or didn't do it, right? Because you are afraid of the consequences. So you can have the fear even if you didn't do the thing, right? I think I'm correct about that. I'm no detective. I mean, I play LA Noire, but that's about it. Anyway.
We'll see.
I left the protege to her misery and circled the dining room, studying Langley's other works. Each featured a variation of the actress in different poses. Demure, seductive, vulnerable. Sometimes her hair was short or curly or the eyes were different, but there was no doubt they were all the same woman. I stopped in front of Alice Langley's death. You know what her face reminds me of? She reminds me, I mean, again, it's the game set in the theme of 80s, but it reminds me of a little bit of certain characters that were in the manga called Gunm. Yeah. To be fair, also Akira. Akira had some ugly woman, and that face kinda works. Anyway, I stopped in front of Alice Langley's death. Of course, I mean the painting of her death.
strange.
You know what I find strange in this? I mean... Maybe I'm incorrect. Because there is a... Well, technically pocket knife in her bag. But it seems like the blood is not coming out of that spot at all. But like it came out of the front and of her mouth. So that's kinda sus. Also, I wonder what's inside of her little necklace exactly. There might be something there. Anyway, the other paintings were nothing like this one. The technique was different. Technique, you say? Maybe someone else made it. Langley's other work showed restraint and classical training. The brushwork was controlled colors, muted and earthy. Well, on the other hand, would it be surprising for a painter to try something new? Or maybe, you know, the painter does do other stuff all the time, but only certain works make it to the public and so on, right? This was flashy, amateurish, as if painted by a student. The colors were too vibrant, especially... Honestly, I mean, it's still better than 2025 artworks that we have. Where did we go wrong? I'm not talking about anime artworks, for those are good. Anyway, especially the two purple dots in Langley's eyes. Okay. What's so weird about that one then? Instead of making it black, like normally humans have, she or he made it purple. I guess she, and this game seems to have like basically all female cast. I squinted at those lilac pinpoints. Reflections. Langley's eyes reflect a figure with purple hair, dressed like the protégé. My eyes traveled down the painting, drinking in every detail. The knife, the blood pooling beneath Langley's body. Her paint scream. I wouldn't go scream, okay. And an open locket in the shape of a heart. Half hidden, with an inscription visible on its open face. Sandra Beam? Okay. A scream shattered my concentration. I whipped around to see I was alone in the room. Shit. Whoa. I ran the hallway and standing in the bathroom doorway at the end of the hall was the protégé. Her face drained of color, a trembling hand covered her mouth. The other leaned against the bathroom wall, her eyes bulged, face frozen in shock. Alright. I pushed past the protégé and knelt beside the body. Someone had wrapped a thin metal wire around her neck so tight that it cut through flesh and muscle into her esophagus. Blood smeared the wall behind her. She must have backed into it, then slid down to the ground. She knew she was being murdered. The killer was working fast. The game Langley had set in motion was being hijacked by someone desperate to cover the tracks. How do we know it was actually set up by Langley for? Come on.
I couldn't wait. I had to go to the bathroom and found her.
She swallowed up the lump in her throat.
I didn't do this. I didn't kill any of them. Not Miss Langley, not the actress, not her.
She pointed at the other's body but didn't look.
No, you didn't.
Her head snapped up. I mean, I guess the painting already gave the answer. Kind of.
What? You couldn't have killed them, Sandra.
Oh, so it was her.
How did you... The painting. There's a locket near Miss Langley's body. It's open with the name Sandra Beam engraved inside. A strange detail to include unless it meant something.
Sandra glanced back towards the dining room, then at me. You painted that portrait, didn't you?
Not Langley. Yes. Why? She made me. Miss Langley knew she was going to die, and she knew who was going to kill her. If she was going to die, she wanted the resulting investigation to be thrilling, something spectacular.
Oh my, so stupid. That made sense. I mean, The idea for the game, cool. If someone did this in real life, that's stupid as heck. That made sense. So far from everything I knew about Alice Langley, she was fond of attention, as long as it portrayed her in a favorable light. I mean, this wouldn't paint her in a... or portray her in a favorable light, I would say. Making a show out of death? Ridiculous.
A heart-shaped locket is an interesting place for a signature. Were you her lover? I was her student first. She singled me out, said I had talent and invited me over for private lessons.
Oh boy.
I was flattered. At first it was just painting, and then...
She wrapped her arms around herself. I don't want to know. I don't want to know!
She promised to introduce me to people who could make my career.
Oh no.
I just had to be grateful.
Oh no.
And you believed her? Wouldn't you?
I wouldn't!
I'm 22 with student loans and big dreams.
Oh yeah, welcome to America, I guess. Student loan. Why do you guys have that? It's crazy.
The first time she kissed me, I told myself that it was fine.
Wow. When she wanted me to pose nude, I convinced myself it was artistic. I think that's Sandra saying that again.
But it got darker.
Sandra nodded.
She likes control, made me dress up in kinky, humiliating outfits and entertain her guests.
Jesus. Isn't this basically like the guy... What's his name? That had an island and so on? Is Langley supposed to be the representation basically of that guy? It seems to me like that.
If I refused, she'd threaten to kick me out of school and blacklist me from the industry. What happened next? One night, we were at her house. I was wearing a maid's outfit, serving her drinks. The doorbell rang.
Sandra's voice cracked.
It was another student, a senior. Turns out Alice had been sleeping with her too. The woman reflected in Langley's eyes.
Is it the other maid? Sandra nodded again.
Margot, Alice Langley's true partner and protégé.
She swallowed hard.
She's making me pretend to be her. So Margot knew all about Langley's murder mystery dinner party. She knew everything about Alice's plans. She blackmailed me into taking her place at this dinner. Said if I didn't, she'd release photos of me and Alice online.
Okay.
Where is the maid? I don't know.
Then the lights went out. Shit! And... we fumbled our way back to the dining room. The large bay window illuminated a space with rich blue light that dissolved into deep shadows. She could be anywhere in the apartment at this point. I pulled Sandra close and checked my watch. It was difficult in the blue light of night. Would it be? I mean, that's why you're... I mean, surely they had watches that would light up if you, press the button back then, right? 7 hours still down. Wow. The killer is so efficient, if you think about it. 2 hours to down? Damn! Then the electronic doors would unlock. Can't you break the windows? Or are they the kind that are very hard to break? Several hours in the dark with a murderous maid. The electricity crawled up my body. I shivered and an infinitely whimper escaped my lips.
Are you okay?
I nodded.
Yeah, couldn't be better. I did my best to hide the excitement in my voice, but her expression told me I'd failed. You're enjoying this? Sure, I love what I do. That's not what I mean.
I guess that's the words of Sandra. A wail of desperation cut Sandra short. It was loud, close. We didn't have time to turn around. Dude, I knew it was you. I mean... Come on, the champagne was an obvious clue from the get-go. The bottom flower vase connected with the back of Sandra's head. Wow! How did you not hear her? And she crumpled to the ground, her hands still gripping my coat, pulled me down with her and out of the path of the vase. I rolled to my back in time to see the maid. Margot raised the vase over her head, intending to smash my face in. But a well-paced boot to the gut stopped her mid-swing and sent her stumbling backwards. The wind knocked out of her. She worked to catch her breath before I could get to my feet. She didn't succeed. I rose like a linebacker and... A what? And charged, catching her with my shoulder. Is it American football thing, like a linebacker? I'm not sure. I might have played Madden NFL, but I honestly don't know the terms and so on. I dug in, my momentum driving us into the wall. The force shook several paintings loose, and they fell to the ground. Sandra screamed, the click of metal locking into place. Don't tell me she fell on her knife or something. The click of metal locking into place. Pain, hot and fast. 7 sharp jabs into my back, just above the shoulder blade. Oh shit. I pushed myself away, but Margot's grip on my coat tightened. This time the pain buried itself into the bottom of my back, working deeper, slicing through the muscle. I wrapped my arms around her and thrust my knee upwards. She made a noise. I thrust my knee upward again and again. Her grip on my coat loosened and I broke free. Margot staggered towards me, swinging her knife in slow, lazy arcs. Okay.
I put up with Langley's shit for years, thinking it would lead to something. When she came along, my replacement.
Margot stared past me to Sandra.
I'm going to enjoy taking the rest of the night to torture you, you little harlot.
Her voice was hard, feral.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm still breathing.
Margot snapped her attention back to me. Why did you talk? Why did you talk? Just knock her unconscious or something like that.
Barely. I'm going to stick this knife in your neck.
My back throbbed, warm blood soaked in my shirt and cooled, sending shivers up my spine. Not the fun kind. I glanced around the room in desperate search for a weapon, my eyes landing on the actress's champagne glass. Oh yeah, it would be broken, right? I lunged for it, fingers closing around the stem. I shuddered against the floor just as Margot rushed me. She dove on top of me, the knife held high, the tip of its maroon blade aimed at my chest. I caught her with a haymaker, burying the glass stem into the side of her throat. She shrieked, blood sprayed across my face and chest.
You stupid payac!
She clutched her neck and rose her feet. I did the same. We circled each other. I mean, I guess you didn't hit that throat hard enough. She feinted left, then drove toward me. I caught her arm, but underestimated her strength. We crashed in the canvas, letting it swinging on its hook. I kneed her in the stomach and twisted, using her wave to fling her across the dining table.
Lydia!
Sandra's voice cut through the chaos.
The painting!
I glanced up. The massive painting of Langley's death had broken free from the wall mount. I drove to the side. Margot tried to follow, but the heavy frame caught her as she rose, driving her backward through the glass table and into the jagged black table legs. The knife clattered to the floor from her limp fingers. I stared at Margot's broken body, pinned beneath the canvas. How heavy was that thing? Her blood ran down the zigzagging beams and pulled beneath her, catching the city lights through the window. My lungs burned. Each breath sent fire throughout my body. I'll be a patchwork of bruises and holes tomorrow. Well, you got stabbed into the back, so yeah. Wow. A painting killed her. How heavy is that thing? Let's see how... I'm curious. How heavy a painting with a frame can be. Painting, small 5 to 2 kilograms, larger 5 to 10. I mean, 5 to 10 kilograms painting would not kill you. What's the heaviest painting in the world? Why not? I don't care about square meters. Tell me the wave. Jesus Christ. Google AI useless as always. Bing. No, wait, I was supposed to use Yahoo. Yahoo. Come on, Yahoo. Heaviest painting. I said heaviest, not largest. Why is it showing the largest? Useless. Why is it showing literally the largest and not the heaviest? Sure, maybe the largest will mean the heaviest, but whatever. Sandra sat on the floor, arms wrapped around her knees.
I cared about Alice despite how she treated me.
What a simp. Her voice cracked.
But I'm happy she's dead. Does that make me a bad person?
No. I fished in my pocket for my cigarettes, tapped one out and lit it. The first drag burned all the way down, chasing down away the chill that had settled in my bones.
Kid.
I exhaled a plume of smoke.
If you have to ask yourself a question like that, you're probably alright. Thank you for playing!
So seems like this is a work, I think, of 3 people. I think I've seen 3 names. Or was it 2 names? 2 names for sure, but there was at the bottom one thing that was made by someone else, I think. That was enjoyable. I liked it. For I would say the killer was, well, sort of obvious from the beginning. Like that first kill, basically. Or should I say the second kill? To be quite fair. Made it pretty obvious. With the champagne and so on. And we know the maid, well, basically had the only who had the access to it before entering the room. Because she also brought it, right? Brought it with her. While the other 3 in the room, well, they were constantly in the room and so on. I mean, in a way, that maid definitely was a psycho. A little bit of a psycho, yeah. I mean, she did get rid of the one that basically, let's say, in a way, cheated on her. But she also did much, not much. She also did many more bad things to her, right? So, like, I feel like if she was in a proper state of mind, she would only seek revenge on the one who committed all of that, right? So, Langley, basically. In a way, I would like to know why did she decide to go after the others as well? I guess maybe she wanted to go after all the people that Langley also cheated with. Which in a way, maybe it's understandable. Kind of. You know, you're stealing her from me, kind of thing. Maybe that's the thinking of our mate. The actress, well... The actress seemed like, well, basically she was a victim to everything when it comes to Langley, sadly. And then Langley also ruined her career. In general, she definitely, I would say, treated her badly all the time. I would say for our actress in general, with her, it was sort of obvious that she wasn't a killer. I mean, the fact that in front of everyone she was able to laugh at someone's death, yeah, that basically tells, alright, I'm happy that she's dead, but, you know, I know that I haven't done that as well. I would assume someone who would commit it to killing would not be acting like that in front of everyone else and so on. I assume that at least. The daughter was kinda sus to me, you know, in a way, appearing out of nowhere. But on the other hand, if she were to kill, would she inherit everything? Probably not. Would she inherit anything at all? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it would actually turn out that she was not the daughter and so on. Which I think it was a possibility. Yeah. To be fair, I mean, maybe, whatever. The young girl in training, well, from her actions, acting and so on, she seemed incapable of committing anything, to be fair. But who knows, sometimes those that seem like that might be the worst. But yeah, it was the mate. It was the mate in the end. The champagne show it all. To me at least. Then the daughter decided to go with her. Wild thing to do, but okay. Okay. And then that face off and so on. I'm still surprised that like a painting with a frame could smash you to death. That's crazy. But hey, maybe it would be possible. Maybe the frame was heavier than anything else possible. Maybe it won't, like, maybe it weighed like 100 kilograms for some reason. Who knows? Who knows? I don't have the answer to that. And, well, Langley in general seemed like that trash kind of person that sort of, in a way, runs behind the scenes of Hollywood and so on. And to me it seems like, basically, she sort of is the representation of, whatever his name was that had the island and so on. Yeah. Basically a terrible person. Very terrible. Dude, I mean, show business is a scary thing, to be honest. I feel like to enter at all. And this game, in a way, showed it pretty well. Alright, let's end the video for. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, as always, consider liking the video. Much appreciated if you do. If you want to stick around for longer, you know, subscribe to the channel. Even more appreciated. The games. There were a lot of games played so far, and I'm pretty certain more will be played still, because I have quite a lot of them, and quite a lot of them are being released still. So yeah, in a way, it's a never-ending thing. Games being released, which I'm not complaining about, obviously. That's about it, really. That's about it. As always, also link to the game in the description. 4 Candles of the Dead. 4 Candles for the Dead. And you can go and rate the game yourself or something. Yeah. Yeah. With that being said, this little submission for NaNoRenO 25 has been played. And tomorrow, I guess we'll see to another game. Yeah, with that being said, I wish you a fantastic day. Watch out who you are, I don't know, becoming friends with and so on. and have a great day. Bye!